Welcome to demonstration number 7 of PDSA's eTimeTrak system. Hello, I'm Michael Krasowski with PDSA, and I will be presenting demonstration number 7. This demonstration will be on the lookup main menu item. And again, the lookup item is all role and permission based, so you could give this theoretically to anyone, but this one goes to the administrator. And under the lookup menu, we can look at a variety of interesting details about the behavior of the system. We can look at exceptions that get thrown by .NET. We can look at user tracking, which is what pages people touch. We can look at user logins and logoffs. We can look at different events that get logged, and we can do audit tracking on information that's been changed. So if we go ahead and look at exceptions, we can see here the different exceptions, and even one was thrown on April 7th. So we can go ahead and edit, which means really view, and we get a complete look at that exception right here. Notice since the exception had to do with the connection to the database, we actually have the connection string, but the user ID and password, of course, has been blanked out for security reasons. Down here in extra info, we have all sorts of interesting information down here that could also be looked at for the particular error. So that could be very, very handy. So it's self-diagnostic. You can double check and make sure how things are working. So I think that's a great feature. And I can also click on this month or previous month or enter some search filters. The next menu item is user tracking. And on user tracking, it leaves a little footprint on every page that's ever accessed. So you can see right here, the last page touch was PDSA user tracking. That's the page I'm actually on. 4:13, 2 o'clock. So these are all the different pages touched. So if you are interested in what pages were touched, what pages weren't touched, and who logged in, and used these pages, that could be very handy as well. User logins tracks people who have logged in and logged out. So we have the login ID, the machine they were at, the browser level, the language, the login date, the last access date, and the logout date. Now occasionally, but it's very rare, the logout date can't be tracked. That happens very rarely, but it can happen because someone might click off to another site, and when that session expires, it's supposed to trigger an event that captures it. But nonetheless, you'll know everybody who certainly logged into your system. So that could be very handy. If there was any sort of security breach or something like that, you could always see who logged in, when, and where. Event log, we throw an event in this case of timesheet downloads, and you can see where people downloaded the timesheet. And there could be other items that are in the system that can be set to throw information into the event log. Lastly is audit tracking. Audit tracking is very interesting. And you can see here on 410, the executive ID modified the billing period with an insert primary key number, and a little HTML, or I should say XML fragment was placed in here. Now when we actually do an update, like here's an update, we can see for column name billing period status ID, I have the old value 3 and a new value 4. So for updates, it's the old and new value. For inserts, it'll be all the new values. And here's a delete. If it's a delete, it'll show you all the values that were removed. So it's very handy in checking to see what may have happened in your system to track things. So again, in this particular demonstration, we were showing you some administrative features that could be very handy that track exceptions, that track user tracking in terms of what pages people visit. It also keeps track of the users logging in and logging out, keeps track of events such as a timesheet download event, and also keeps track of audits on the data itself in terms of inserts, deletes, and updates. Well, that brings us to the end of this demonstration. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Hey, please give us a call at PDSA at any time. My name is Michael Krasowski. Thank you very much.